Welcome, Redbeard here, and it is time for my first ever series on this channel. Road to rank 1 Corrupted Gauntlet as a hardcore Iron Man. The only rule is simple: I cannot use tier 3 armor inside the gauntlet, from Lumbridge to the walls of Prifddinas. Let's begin. Welcome to episode 12 of this hardcore series. In the last one, as you can see, I defeated Judd and got the fire cape, finally. I am so glad I got it, not just for its stats, it's about moving into higher level stuff. With it obtained, I can enter the city of Tizar, Murorlek, or whatever his name is, and can obtain the obsidian armor. It has strength bonus and no negative attack bonuses on anything. It's the only melee gear that has that, so for killing Darok, Thorax and the other two, with magic in my opinion is the best gear at my level. Technically I could use Rune until the Barrows gear and even onto the Song of the Elves, because I don't really need it for the Corrupted Gauntlet, but it's an upgrade and looks awesome too, even without the helmet. For us Iron Men, there are two ways to get them. Firstly, just by killing the Tizar Cat in the inner city, the big ones. Or secondly is to get Tokul, lots of them. The plate and legs are worth around 220k. I mean, it won't take as long as directly killing the Tizars, because they are a bit rarer than I thought at 1 in 1000 per piece. However long it takes, it will be a fun grind. Was checking out the wiki on the armor and the best way to get it fast, like farming fire capes and whatever else. Come to find out, the Karamja Gloves gives a discount on anything in the Tizar armor and weapon shops when equipped, and one can get it because it's super easy, only requiring the easy diary in Karamja, which is great. FYI, this is the only diary that was released in 2007. Now for Tokul, the best way to obtain the currency is by buying chaos runes and then sell them at the Tizar city. I need just a little bit over 2 million cash, which is easy now since I unlocked Corrasks. What I need to do is simple: buy the chaos rune packs from any mage shop and sell them here for 9 Tokul each. Once I have 200k with the Karamja Gloves obtained, I can just buy them. My fear at first is that the armor would be overstocked, but it's not the case. And with the Karamja Gloves discount, it's roughly around 200k cash, so that will save me some time. There it is, my first ever Corrask kill. I am looking forward to this new money making method. Haven't had anything close to it in terms of cash. These things will make stuff much easier. I have to buy the cannon, which is 800k, and a whole bunch of stuff, not to mention the obsidian armor, which is my first priority. My plan is until I get the leaf-bladed sword or axe, I will range these using this safe spot, which is excellent for AFKing, and then once I get a good melee weapon, I'll switch to it. Who knows, maybe I go dry like over 1k kills. More ranged XP for me I guess, and might even use magic also. Speaking of magic, they drop a ton of nature runes, which naively forgot my fire runes at first, clogging up my inventory. It's surprising how often they drop alchebles honestly. Since they buffed the drop table, I think it's around 3 to 4 years, I don't know. I thought their bulk of their loot would be in cash drops like the 10k, but that's not the case. Anyhow, my first ever trip, my total loot came up to 1 to 3k cash and a whole bunch of seeds and resources. It is just perfect for what I need until the Song of the Elves. Magic here is not that bad with the Slayer Dart, that's the only thing you can use. And given my gear and level, I mean it's okay if you're AFKing, but ranged is much faster. If I badly needed to level magic, it's fine, but for now I'll continue with ranged. This skill is the one that dropped the leaf-bladed sword. Unfortunately for you guys is that my shadow play decided to skip the frame, exactly as it dropped. It rarely happens. After decided to switch melee immediately, just to try it out. Geared up and made my way back. Unbelievably, first skill using the blade, another one drops. What are the chances? I'm happy, more for the collection. Now I'll just hope for the bladed axe. It's rare at 1 in 1k, but given my luck lately, it won't take long. My favorite weapon in RuneScape, as you can tell by my canvas, is obtained, the Dragon Battle Axe. It is expensive at 200k, but it is super useful. Its special attack gives the equivalent of a super strength potion, and some, at the expense of attack and defense stats, which is not even an issue when using attack potions from the Warriors Guild to raise them, and they are there cheap. For Slayer and training and even Corrasks, it will speed stuff up greatly for us HCIM men that haven't unlocked the Herblore level to make super combats. It is time to level some skills that require nothing but time and a lot of patience for the Song of the Elves. And the best way to start, at least in my opinion, is to do the one that I dislike the most: agility. Today it's not really that boring if you're watching like a series on the side, like what I'm doing. Back in the day I only had one monitor, so you can imagine my boredom. Later, thankfully, I still need to get the full graceful for hair bronze, training and whatever else. So it's a nice little incentive to get it done as fast as possible, especially for the extra barrows runes, which require 70 agility also. I'm trying to do at least 100 laps a day, which is not that much, and yet keeps me sane from the skill, while leveling it all along. It's a good compromise. These things keep on giving and surprising, casually killing them, and out of the blue they drop the light mystic rope top. I have the bottom from Turots, but didn't have a clue, not an idea, that they can drop the body piece. It's a huge upgrade from the Zamorak top, I know that much, and I gladly take it. Anyway, every trip from Corrask's, I get all the cash and go straight to the Varrock Mage shop and buy chaos runes. I have been killing them for some time now, and leveling combat experience as fast as I can, hoping for the leaf bladed axe to drop. As for Tokul, I'm halfway there, slightly over 100k. This grind, it has been one of the best on this account, by far. RNG was on my side. There it is. It is mine. It's like finding a 200 mil drop. That's the thing with IM man, stuff you find on normal account might mean nothing. It's like 40k. But in this case the axe will generate much more cash and combat XP. I said I was lucky earlier, got it in less than 500 kills. This battle axe is incredible. It just melts these things. Not only it has better stats than the sword, but has an effect against them of 17.5 increased damage and most importantly accuracy, regardless if you're on Slayer task or not, and I think it stacks with the helm. Albeit slightly slower than the sword, it's still much better. I could just camp here, level all combat melee stats to 85 easy. And while training I decided to complete the King's Ransom, which will unlock Chivalry and Piety, to just prayer flick them. And it is needed just for leveling in general. Even though inside the corrupted Gauntlet I'm not using any melee for the Hanlef fight, it will be very useful against smaller creatures inside while starting each run. Quest done, onto the fight waves, which are tough. You cannot use prayer and some of them hit constantly, and have a ton of defense. So I did the easy but time consuming route, hitting them behind the punching bag, just once after the hit points disappear. There are 8 of them, each one is harder than before. So if you may be lower level, grab a poisoned weapon, because they're susceptible to it, and flinch away, like I did. And once I completed it, it gives a bunch of combat experience and unlocked both prayers. Looking at my magic, it is very low at the moment, so I decided to try the mage training arena. I read it's very fast to train here with magic, even for lower levels, plus I got over 2k natures from Corrask's and I have to use them. Now my plan was to just get full Ahrims, use the Amulet of the Damned and train that way, since with it using this stuff you can autocast ancient magics. But what if it's the last thing I get at Barrows and in between I want to level some magic? That would be an issue, so I figured I get the Master Wand along with the Mage's Book and Infinity Boots. With them acquired at least I can train with Mystics or even Void. And for the Serum fight, the Mage's Book will be much needed since they changed the Ahrim stuff to one-handed. With Natures I went using Alchemy and it is fast. I think over 80k XP an hour, and in total I need roughly 1k Pizzas points to unlock all the gear. Just on the Alchemy ones, there are 3 other counterparts for that, but I'd have to do that later. I have to give credit to Runelight, without the plugin it would have the XP per hour easily here. The grind is complete. This armor for some reason was one of the motivations of starting a hardcore IM man, other than the corrupted Gauntlet. You know when you think about training certain skills and when you start doing it it's not that glamorous? But in this case, getting the armor for me was one of the best challenges. It's worth it. 4 strength bonus at the expense of some melee defense. It's not that significant, and compared to full rune having -4 to 1 magic, and the obsidian having +11, I'll take it any day. It's a melee armor, plus it looks awesome, in my opinion. Anyway, that is it for this episode. I know it was released later than usual, I apologize. Later this week, another episode coming your way. And if you enjoyed this one, hit the like, let me know below what you think, and subscribe if you want. Thanks for watching, happy escaping, peace.